our discussion with domains of business or domains of BCK, business and commercial knowledge. Okay, so today we will be starting with the term human activities. Okay, you can see on board what all I have written. Human activities, they are classified as non-economic and economic activities, and under that I have listed down the characteristics of economic activities, and then the meaning of business in three sense, that is broader, medium and narrow sense, and then economic activities types, that is business, profession and employment, which you have already learned in your PUC first year. Okay, so today let us start our discussion with human activities. Okay, so in every day, in our day-to-day activities, there are activities which are done with the intention to earn money, and there are activities which are done with the intention of not to earn money. They are done with the intention of love, respect, and sometimes some selfless acts. We call them the acts of altruism and the word Vartadre, which means the selfless act. That means whenever you are doing something which for example, you can say charity activities which you are doing, that comes under that. Okay, so first let us understand non-economic activity. If you are doing any activity with the intention of not to earn anything, for example, today you, before when you wake up or every day, you are filling tap water in your house. For that you are not getting paid. Your mother is preparing food for you. She is not getting money for it. So these all, why your mother is preparing food for you? It is because of love and affection. Such activities which are done with the intention not to earn money is classified under the head non-economic activity. And economic activities are those activities which are done with the intention to earn money. Now, nowadays, you can see, I'm giving you an example for non-economic activity. When you distribute anything in return from them, then it becomes a non-economic activity. But whereas when the same food is served by a restaurant in return of money, that becomes economic activity. Okay, so now let us understand what are the features of economic activity. In this feature, we will also come to conclusion about two things. One is consumption and the other one is savings. Okay, so first let us start with the first point, that is first feature of economic activity, that is income generating. So if you are calling an activity as economic activity, then definitely you have done with the intention to earn something. Maybe to earn something, that earning may be in the form of cash or kind, because in villages still the exchanges are done for goods and goods. I'm not goods are exchanged for goods. I'm not calling it as barter system, because barter system, in barter system we have not measure, we never had measurement value, but here there is a measurement value. For example, I will tell you, in earlier days what used to happen is one bag of rice was exchanged for one bag of jawar. But whereas rice cost is more than rice is costlier than jawar. When you exchange with quantities, it is called as barter system without taking it, without measuring their value. But when you measure the value and exchange, it is called as exchange of goods for goods. For example, I will tell you, assume that 1 kg of rice cost 30 rupees. Okay, now a household person exchanges a kg of rice for 6 packets of Parle-G biscuits. It cannot be called as barter system, because a pack of Parle-G biscuits cost 5 rupees. 5 into 6 packets is 30 rupees. So 30 rupees exchange value is same. It cannot be called as barter system. Okay. So what you need to remember is something in return. We call it as quid pro quo, right? That should be, that can be either in cash or in kind. So that first point you need to remember, it should be income generating. It may give you salary, interest, commission, profit, whatever may be, but it should be income generating. Okay. Then the second one is, it is productive. See, remember, when you are getting income, then definitely that activity will be productive. It may be production of goods or survey or providing some service. So the activity is productive. Okay. So now next comes is the consumption. Remember, when you call production as an economic activity, then certainly the consumption is also an economic activity. Okay, because again it generates revenue. Okay, so that's why even consumption is also an economic activity. And a beautiful thing what you need to remember is, the production is economic activity, the consumption is activity, and the unspent income, that is saving is also an economic activity. Now the question arises, sir, why savings is an economic activity? Remember, this savings will go to the bank, and bank will again lend this money to the business persons, and the person who saved the money will be getting interest. Remember, the savings will be converted into investments. That's why even saving or the unspent money is also called as economic activity. Okay. So now, if you have any doubt on this part, that is non-economic activity, economic activity, and its features, you can type your doubts in the chat box. There is a chat box available for you. You can write your questions there. If you have any doubt. No doubts? Otherwise, if you are not comfortable with chat, I will unmute your mics.
Okay, any doubts? You can ask in audio. Okay, Anurag is asking to explain about consumption. See, Anurag, when the production, no, you can mute your mics till I speak.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, if the production is an economic activity, then consumption should be an economic activity, because it generates income. Okay, and production, and you can say that the demand functions. If there is a coin, the production demand. If demand is a coin, then production and consumption are the two sides, and these two consist. These two can be part of economic activity because. Okay, anything else you like to ask?
Sir, voice is not clear.
Okay, let me mute again.
Now, if you have understood, you can type in the chat once I finish. See, ನಾನು ನಿನಗೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿಕತ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡು, ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಆಗ್ತದ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದ. ಆ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ನ ಇಫ್ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕಾಯಿನ್, ದೆನ್ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟೂ ಸೈಡ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ನಾಗ ಎರಡು ಬರ್ತಾವ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಜನರೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಅದ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇವೆರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಏನಂತೀವಿ? ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ,
Yes, sir.
ಓಕೆ, ಡನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್?
No, sir.
Abhilash, understood?
Yes, sir.
Done. Okay, very good. Now, next is, so this was non-economic activity and economic activity. Let's come to the meaning of business in three different senses, that is broad, medium and narrow. If you remember, do you remember a common definition of business which you learnt in your business study? Something it was busy, कुछ तो था ऐसा. What is business? Do you remember?
Purchase and sale of goods and services, sir.
What?
Purchase and sale of goods and services.
That is called trade, exchange of goods and services. Or you tell me any definition of business you know.
Business is being busy.
Okay, being busy is called as business. Okay. Next, any other definitions you know? Or you can construct your own definition and you can tell me. No idea? Okay. Now, I will tell you what are these three senses, that is narrow sense, medium sense and broad sense. Narrow sense gives the definition of business as, it may simply say that anything which keeps you busy or any activity which you carry to earn money is called as business. That is in a very narrow sense. But in the broad sense, what happens? He tells you clearly that it may be production of goods, or it may say, he may give some examples, right? That becomes medium sense. When you look at the textbook, you will understand. When it comes to broad sense, he includes every aspect of the business. He says it is production of goods and services, distribution of goods and services, then it becomes broader sense. Okay, remember, broad sense, medium sense and narrow sense. I will just put the meaning as definition of business in broad sense, medium sense, narrow sense once I finish this class, and we will discuss over this also again, right? Broad sense, it includes all the aspect. Okay, remember, medium, it misses few, or it is not clear about what exactly business is. But in narrow sense, again, it defines the business rightly, but in a way which a layman can understand, but it does not comprises of all the aspects of the business. There is no clarity, but it makes you to it gives you a definition which a even layman can understand. That's what a girl just mentioned, that it is being busy is called as business, or any activity which keeps you busy is called as business. Okay, so this was regarding definition of business in broad, medium and narrow sense. Now, economic activities, business profession, employment. You remember you had a comparison chart in your NCERT textbook which compared business with profession and employment. Anyone who remember? Anyone who remember? No one. Whether my voice is audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Vinayak, Nenpilla. Vinayak.
Yes, sir.
Nenpilla pi one chart itala business profession mat employment comparison itu.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
sir.
Itre, right? Now
Yes.
let's check how many of you remember that chart. Okay, so first I will note 3 points here. One is business, next is profession, the next one is
Employment.
there is
Employment. Employment.
business, profession, and employment. Okay, now
Employment.
you need to start your comparison with the points. Anyone who is willing to initiate?
Sir, in business we earn profits.
Okay, very good. So can I take your basis of difference as return?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The return is profit. Okay, in profession it is.
Fees.
Oh, very good. What do you get?
Fees.
Very good. Fees you get in your profession. Then in employment,
Wages and
Salary.
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 and salary. Okay. This was the first point of difference. Very good. It is from you. Now, next, second one.
Risk factor.
Very good. The second one is risk. Okay. What in business? How the risk is?
High risk.
High risk. Very good. Why high risk? Somebody? Why there is a high risk in business?
Sir, because they make
Anyone?
So return
There
is
may be
not
profit or losses.
It is not just profit and loss. I will give you an example. People who are in Gulbarga might have heard about it. Yesterday, near the High Court, they have a High Court in Gulbarga too, right? There was a furniture shop. It caught by fire yesterday night, the day before yesterday night. Because of that, he lost some 2 or 3 lakh rupees. And there were 2 workers who were working in that furniture shop. They were not so much bothered because they just lost employment. They can go and work at some other place. But the entire 2 or 3 lakh rupees loss will be borne by the owner of the business. Remember, why there is a huge risk in business? Because the entire amount is invested by the owner only. So that's why in business there is a high risk. Can you tell me how much the risk is in profession? How the risk is in profession?
Sir, it is very less.
It is less than business, but more than employment.
Okay, can I call it as moderate?
Yes, sir.
Moderate will be the very right word which can be used. That means there is not as much as high risk which is in business, but it is more than employment. And what is the risk which is there in employment?
So no risk.
No less risk.
No risk. You may call it as very low or no risk. Okay. Next. Okay. Next, Abhilash. One comparison from you, Abhilash.
Sir, in business we need to invest money. Investment.
Very good. Very good. From the investment point of view. Okay. What do you say in business?
We need investment.
We need investment, right? But we don't need.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We need.
Okay. You can call it as more investment is required. In profession,
More investments.
do you require it?
No, sir.
No.
Sir, we need requirement.
Limited.
For example, I will tell you. Visited any lawyer office? Even they too have infrastructure, so they require. But even professional with no investment, even you can start it in your home also. So I write again. You don't require as much as investment which is required in business, but even you cannot say that there is no investment required. Okay, what is the amount of investment required in employment?
Nothing, sir.
Very good. No investment is required in employment. Okay, next.
Sir, qualification.
Very good. Qualification, very important. In business,
No qualification.
No qualification.
can we see it as not essential? Okay, we cannot
Yes, sir.
qualification andre beke agilla anta essential illa. Even you can start without any qualification.
Yes, sir.
Must and should.
Very important.
As per
Professional body.
For example, you need to have compulsorily finish LL if you want to be a lawyer, and you need to be an MBBS want to practice medicines. MBBS, BMS or BHMS, any bachelor degree. Next, in employment,
Not required. As per employer.
for the requirement of your job, right?
Hmm.
Here, there is no professional body, but your requirement of qualification depends upon the nature of job. So
No.
you can put it as per requirement. Okay, so we have finished with 4 comparisons. Now, next one, anyone? Only
Code of
4?
conduct.
Code of conduct. Okay. CC. Tell me, what code of conduct in business?
There is no prescribed code of conduct.
And there will be few requirement which you need to follow. Okay. Next question. Yes, there is a code of conduct because you need to follow. Especially when you become chartered accountant, you come to know that how strict the institute is because you need to follow their norms. Okay. Then, what about employment?
As per the employers.
We call it as it all depends on contract of employment. There will be a contract of employment, code of conduct and all everything on the contract of employment. Next, any other difference or any other comparison? Sorry, not difference.
Degree of freedom.
The degree of freedom. ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಪ್ಪ. Of freedom. Okay, you tell me what is the degree of freedom in business?
Full freedom.
Hi, sir.
Very good. It is high because जब चाहे तुम चालू कर सकते हो, जब चाहे तुम बंद कर सकते हो. Then profession,
Moderate.
we can say it as moderate. Then in employment,
No, sir.
there is no degree of freedom.
Freedom.
Let's say there is a high degree of freedom. Here again we come to moderate, and here there is no degree of freedom because you are bound by contract of employment. For example, मैं अभी आपको अभी का एग्जांपल देता हूँ. That is, अभी लॉकडाउन चल रहा है, सही है. मेरे घर के पास एक आयुर्वेदिक मेडिकल स्टोर था. उसने 20 दिन से दुकान बंद करके रखा है. He can easily do it. The reason is because he has liberty to decide when to open and when to close. But whereas when it comes to profession, on certain dates they have to compulsorily visit offices. So that's why we call it as moderate. But now you can see the bank employees are not exempted from attending duties. Even though they are scared with COVID-19, still they have to go to bank because they are bound by the contract of employment. So there is no degree of freedom. Next. The next one.
Objective.
The objective. Okay. What is the objective of business?
To earn
Profit.
Profit.
Very good. Next is, what is the objective of profession?
To render service to clients.
Services and earning. Next. What is the object of employment?
to earn salary or wages. And to earn salary or wages or other benefits.
Okay. Then next. अभी I think बहुत सारी चीजें आपके यहाँ से कम हो गए. Now think any other comparisons can be added. Ethically, आप सोचिए ethically how they what will be their role? Ethics जो हम बात करते हैं. You are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now, ethically, a business is bound by its own values. Okay. Whereas a profession is ethically bound by the bodies. Like a lawyer is bound by bar council, a chartered accountant is bound by ICAI, a medical practitioner is bound by All India Medical Association. Okay. Then, whereas when it comes to employment, he is bound by the employer's code of conduct. For example, I will tell you, some of may ask them to behave in a certain manner only. So they have to behave in such way only. So that's why we call it as ethically they are bound by the contract of employment. Next. Now, when it comes to personal autonomy, do you know what is meant by personal autonomy? Even it can be linked to degree of freedom, no problem. Okay, can you, on the basis of stability, can you compare between business, profession, and employment? Stability.
Yes, sir.
How the business is when it comes to stability?
Uncertain.
Very good. It is uncertain. Okay. Whereas the employment and profession are certain, right? They are quite certain because there is very less chance of termination. Okay, because we have not seen any lawyer who was earlier lawyer and his membership has been revoked. So there are very less example like that. So when it comes to stability, business is uncertain because you can see example of Vijay Mallya, you can see example of Sahara Parivar. They once they were at the top and now they are on the ground. So that's why we can say that. What I can say is, business is uncertain when it comes to stability, but it is when it comes to profession and employment, they are certain. Okay, next. Can a businessman transfer his wealth to or transfer his business to his kids?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
A professional?
No, sir.
No, sir. No.
Can a chartered accountant become a chartered accountant?
No, sir.
But yes, sir.
By birth, it is not possible. He should also acquire a professional degree, right? Even employment cannot be transferred, but in some cases, if you remember, if you know, if in government there is a provision, if a
Yes, sir.
person dies during the service, his kids will get employment. Okay, so there are very rare cases
Yes, sir.
where the transfer of interest is possible, but when it comes to business, the full interest can be transferred. But in profession and employment, it is almost no. But there is a small scope for transfer in case of employment, especially in case of government employees. Okay, so these were the points by which we can compare, we could have compared between business, profession, and employment. Okay, then next is, do you know there is a psychological motive? There is a point which is given in your module that is called as psychological motive. We have discussed about return, but what is the psychological motive behind each economic activity? Now, when it comes to business, the economic achievement is that means to achieve the profit is the main psychological objective. Okay, then when it comes to profession, it is not just earning the fees, it is providing service also, because we know that when it comes to doctors and all, it is not just about earning money, it is rendering services to the community. Okay, and when it comes to employment, basically the employment has the objective to earn for livelihood. Okay, kamana hai or khana hai, that is the main objective of employment. This is called as psychological motive. Okay, so with this, today we finish our discussion. Now I keep all your mics open, so
If you
like to ask
any
any
doubt,
doubt,
you
you can.
आप कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं तो पूछ सकते हैं.
No doubt, sir.
Yes. Any doubt?
Any doubts?
See, if you don't like to ask anything, please switch off your mic. अगर आपको कुछ भी पूछना नहीं है तो आप अपने माइक्स को स्विच ऑफ कीजिए. Being a chartered accountant, you should be good in hearing and following the instructions. Your future chartered accountants. No doubts?
No doubts?
No, sir.
किसी को भी
किसी को भी
doubt
कुछ
नहीं
भी
है?
डाउट नहीं है?
No, sir.
विनायक,
विनायक,
No, sir.
शिवानी,
शिवानी,
No, sir.
सौंदर्य,
सौंदर्या,
No, sir.
मेघना,
मेघना, do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay,
You are able to follow 100% today's. All of you are able to follow 100% today's class.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Now I am saying why before that I request you to stay in your home,
safe रहिए and only come out of your
out of your
house
house
when you
when
need
you
something
need
which
something
is
which is
necessary.
necessary.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
again we will
Again we will
meet
meet at
at 11:20.
11:20.